All right, everyone, here we are again on the Hippie Moms podcast, and today we have Ashley Higbee. Ashley, welcome.
Thank you. Thank you. So excited. I'm happy to be here.
I'm so glad you're here. Ashley and I have actually known each other for a very long time, and we've reconnected, and really based on your passion, which you're going to share with us, because I really believe this is a message and inspiration and motivation that so many of us as mothers need. And so first, I would love to hear, how did you start to get into this type of work, and like really what fueled this passion?
Yeah. So movement, exercise, fitness, all of that has always been ingrained in me since I was little. I grew up a competitive gymnast and I was always getting injured. I was always never really worrying about health because I looked a certain way, right? So the aesthetic appearance was there. I had the six pack, I had the body because I was a gymnast. So I never worried about what I ate, never worried about exercising outside of the gym. And that was until I had a really bad collarbone break, quit and ended my career. And then I put on 30 pounds and I had no idea how to exercise. I had no idea how to eat. And so I kind of had to figure out health through the lens of, oh, health doesn't look a certain way. It doesn't weigh a certain amount, and it's not a certain pant size. It was a huge year long transformation. I'm not just years to figure all this out. So that's what kind of got me into this world.
Oh, I love what you just said. Like, what we perceive health to be isn't what it is. Because we can see someone that looks really healthy, right? But internally, they might not be. And some of them are like, they're maybe not very healthy, but really they are. It's just the way that we show up in the world. So, and as moms, we know how hard it is. Like, not only are we dealing with what we're told that we need to look like, but we have kids. And so our time's limited. And so we're just kind of going back and forth. So what brought you to bring like the balance in your life in motherhood? Because you have two children.
Yes. Oh my goodness. The biggest, most rewarding, amazing shift ever. And one forced upon us, right? Because the free time we had to do things ourselves completely shifts the second that you have a wonderful baby. So I was a gym rat. I became obsessed with everything I ate, every calorie I put in my body, because I had to get out of this mindset of, right, feeling a certain way, looking a certain way, and being in the gym. Then I got pregnant. Then I had my baby. My husband was working overnights at the time, and I just couldn't go to the gym anymore. And I didn't realize at that time how much working out affected my mental health. Right. So I felt stuck here. I didn't like the way I looked. I didn't like the way I felt. My confidence was shot. I was so in awe and bliss with my baby, but inside in me, I just felt bad I just felt bad. And I was like, we were in a small apartment at the time. I didn't have access to a gym, right? So it was just like, what do I do? Like, I just can't work out. That was my mindset. I didn't know any better. It was like, well, if I can't go to the gym for an hour, therefore I just can't exercise. Right. And I was way too tired to cook these beautiful, healthy meals I used to do, because now I had a baby and my son was born underweight. So I was nursing him around the clock, 24 hours. I was sleep deprived, all the things. So I remember this moment. I was in bed nursing him at 2:30 in the morning, and I was watching TV. It was a black screen, but I was watching a show. The show just didn't exist because I was so sleep deprived, right? And I remember looking down at him and I was like, wow, this is really hard to feel this way and look this way for my own sanity, right? And everything I was pouring into him. And I love that and I wanted that, but I just was empty. Yeah. And then I remember saying, okay, so this is hard and this stinks. And if I try to find a way to work out at home and eat healthy and do all the things that I normally do to take care of myself, that's going to be really hard too. Like, I'm by myself, my husband's working, I'm nursing him all the time, I have this new baby. And then I remember this pivotal question that was like, which hard do you choose? Do you choose to stay? It's going to be hard to stay the same.
Either way.
It's going to be hard.
Yeah.
Right? It's going to be hard to change. And so looking at him, it was a no-brainer. It was an instant. He became my why. He became my desire. He became my motivation. And that's what shifted everything for me, was that moment. So I was determined to figure out a way to get my health back.
That is so beautiful, because I know so many moms can relate. Here you are, especially when you're a new mom, like first time, you're like, what is this? What is going on? What's going on with my body? Like, weird things are happening. And then also most women have postpartum depression, right? And so then we're not even motivated. We don't even know how to get, get out of that funk. And unfortunately, like it is hard. And doing something different is hard, right? And so I love that you say it's like choose your hard. It's like which one do you, and that the hard of taking care of yourself, of eating well, that's going to have really the outcome that we truly want, right?
100%. It's like you can choose your hard to stay the same, but nothing's going to change. So you
Right.
will stay in this cyclical cycle, this hamster
Yeah.
wheel of hard. Or you could be hard for a little bit to make the
Mhm.
change, and then that no longer becomes hard. It becomes effortless because it's a lifestyle,
It's a lifestyle.
right? So
Yes, I love that. There's a woman, I can't remember her name. I'll put it in the show notes, but there's a woman that wrote that did all this study on exercise. And they tried, so they've done all the studies of, people that start exercising, people that stopped exercising and started again. And then they try to do a study on, can we find people that will stop exercising, that have exercised for years and years and years, and we'll pay them and we'll study them? Nobody would do it. Nobody would do it because when you get on that realm, she says it does take, just like any habit, 21 days of consistency, you get addicted. Do you feel that? Do you feel that in your work and helping moms, like getting them motivated?
1,000%,
Yeah.
1,000%. And it's really about why. It's the simplest, most profound question ever. But if you don't have that burning desire, you will never find that motivation that keeps you consistent. And
Yeah.
the biggest struggle that I see with every mom that comes to me is I'm not motivated, I don't have time, and I really struggle with consistency. So I learned how to tackle all three, because it was like, if that's the biggest hang up for any mom trying to get healthy, it is my mission to then debunk that and make it accessible to any mom of any busyness status, right? I don't care if you have 12 kids and you work full time and you're a single mom, or if you have one kid and you don't work and you're a stay-at-home mom. That looks and busyness looks very different to those two people. And it's not for us to judge, but it's how do we find for you your why, your reason, what is stopping you from being consistent and motivated? Let's get to that. And then just like you said with habits, that's my approach. I take a habit-based behavior change approach to everything I do. So it's what's going on there? What's the underlying root cause of what's going on? I actually partnered with my best friend, who's my business partner. She's an NLP expert. So she gets to the mindset, which was my biggest hang up. And I didn't know I needed, because I was so, like you said, addicted to one way of thinking and believing. I had to shatter those beliefs to create space for new beliefs to be able to create the outcome that I wanted. And that's how all this kind of started.
It's beautiful. And it really is all beliefs. Whatever we believe is the creative juice that creates our life, that really flows in and starts to manifest around us. So I love you said that. There's three major things. So the one is finding the why, right? The inspiration. The second one is the habit.
Yeah. So you want to find your why. You want to understand, okay, you want to make a change,
Sure.
whether that's, yeah. Okay. So here we go. Let's go through it.
Let's
So
do it.
if you say, I want to lose 50 pounds, that's a great generalized broad goal. I will never fault somebody for saying that, but that's not going to keep you motivated. And here's why. Say you do lose 50 pounds because you joined a 12-week workout program, an intensive restrictive diet, that will get you results. Then you lose your 50 pounds and you're like, okay, now what?
Yeah.
You realize how badly that sucked. And so
Yes.
you start to go back to your old habits because you never got to the root of why you gained that weight in the first place. So
Mm,
until you understand, oh, wow, let's peel back that curtain and really see. And this is not to judge. This is not to be like, get down on yourself, which a lot of moms tend to do. Oh my goodness, here. And it's like, no, this is everything. Because until we know this, we can't facilitate change. And then we can't facilitate change if it's an all or nothing mentality. So you
yeah.
can't just be like, all right, now we got to do this diet and we're cutting your calories and you're going to have a Greek yogurt and half of a grapefruit for breakfast. And then you can't eat again until this time. And this is all. And it's like, yeah, we can stick to that for 12 weeks. And then we're like, we're conflicted because now our kids are asking us, Mom, why can't you eat what I'm eating? Or why aren't you eating past 6? And now we're like, oh, it's this like catch 22. I'm getting healthy for you. But now I'm pissed and overwhelmed and stressed because it's just this cycle. So it's learning the habit, the root, the behavior, the belief system of why this happened, shattering that day by day, system by system, thing by thing. We can't do it all at once. You just can't. So I work with the moms that are in it for long term. They understand it's the hard of, yes, it's going to take us probably 6 months to a year. Let's be honest. This is not a quick fix. If you want a quick fix, go back to the diets. They'll work until they don't, and then I'll be waiting for you.
Yes.
Right over here.
I love this, Ashley, because one of the biggest things that we have going on is there's all these trendy ways of eating, the keto, the paleo, like all these, which is great. And then all these different like restrictions. But if you really look at it, if you're restricting in your life, you're going to feel that. And then that's going to, what else are you restricting? Happiness, joy. It comes from a foundation of restriction, not of care and love of yourself and of your body and feeling worthy, because I think that's what it comes down to. We don't feel worthy to be healthy. We have all those conditions, all those voices that told us we're not enough, just the way we are. And so it takes courage. It takes courage to say, you know what? Today I'm gonna do this for me. Do you see that with moms? Do you, like, when you work with them, do you feel them like in it, and then do you feel them kind of like slip away back into the kind of those habits? And then what do you do there? Like, how do you help them?
Yeah, 1,000%. And that's so normal. That's the other
Yeah.
thing is it's so normal, but we have a choice every day,
Mm,
every day. And that's the one biggest profound question I will ask. Like, because I do too. That's the human thing, is to fall back to our old ways. Breaking new patterns, creating new habits is hard. It's
yeah.
hard, but I take such a microscopic approach, right? So it's doing this tiny thing, seeing
Mm,
that win, feeling that win, understanding this is evidence that what you're doing is moving you forward. So we had a mom the other day who felt like she wasn't seeing change. And then she goes, but all of my bras are now a notch tighter. And I'm like, okay, this is everything. See that, notice that. And it took her a minute to be like, oh my God, my
mhm.
bras are tight. Like, you're right, because we're so used to, well, the number on the scale didn't move,
Yeah.
right? All of these things. So what you were saying before about restriction and about belief, weight, we can't focus on the weight if we want to lose the weight. It is so ass backwards from what we're taught, what we're ingrained, what what we're
Oh,
shown on social media, and then all the
everything
things,
is.
everything, right? So weight really boils down to how stressed you are, how
Mhm.
your body responds to that stress, and your coping techniques to handle that stress. That's
Mm,
it.
wow, that's
That's
so
really
simple.
it. So simple. We have overcomplicated weight loss purely for profit,
Yeah.
right? You have to do this diet, you have to take this supplement. And I was in that world for so long. I was on that hamster wheel where you lose the weight, you look great until you don't. And then you live with this FOMO and this anxiety and this shame, this guilt around food. You want to go out with your friends, and then you get pissed at your friends that may be a little overweight, but she's enjoying the margarita and the chips and salsa. And you're sitting here like, I can't eat because my time is past this time and I already had my allotted calories for the day.
Oh, that sounds
Like,
horrible.
it's heartbreaking.
It's
And that's
hard.
how so many people live. So
I
many moms live
I
that
think
way.
it's so true. Like this whole like counting calories and like this restriction. But what really I feel that we really need to think about is, what are our kids seeing? Like, this is what they see. They're like, oh, this is how relationships with food are, which is so messed up. No judgment, no guilt. We are what we've been taught, what we have been shown. It's not our fault. We are the way we are. It's really not. But it's that continuous patterns, right? We've got to pattern interrupt. We've got to do something different. And you know what you said earlier that I love? It's those microscopic changes. It's those little things that if you're not in the moment and you're thinking about the future and losing weight and like you're spinning in your mind, you're going to create that story. So you've got to like come home and be like, okay, today I'm going to do this. I'm going to do this and I'm going to do this. And you know what? And I'm going to do it and I'm going to be consistent. How do you help women be consistent?
I help them be consistent by sticking to one thing, accomplishing that one thing, and then moving on to the next thing. And workout wise, I've developed something called the Mama Moves method, which is 2 to 5 minutes. So it took a long time, a lot of trial and error on not only myself, but on clients in real life, and like, why did this work for her? Why didn't this work for her? And then taking my background of holistic health, yoga, functional movement, mobility, barefoot body weight strength, nervous system regulation. How can I take all of the things that I've, mastered and learned and put my efforts into studying and combine it into 5 minutes? And then how do I help that mom build an active lifestyle where on the days she just doesn't even have 5 minutes, which we learn how to get out of that habit, because that's, again, a belief system, right? Because we all have 5 minutes.
Everyone has 5 minutes.
Right.
Yeah.
We all have it.
Stop
It's just
scrolling
funny.
on your phone. There's 30 minutes right there. Put your phone down. Stop looking at Facebook and Instagram. No judgment. But there's your minutes. I think that's what we really have to unravel, right, Ashley, is that belief that I don't have time. It's
when you
BS. Go ahead.
No, I don't want to interrupt but I'm going to interrupt because it's exactly what you said. We make time for what we desire most, our values, right? If you desire to relax and chill, you will find time to watch an hour of Netflix. You just will.
Yep.
If you desire and want to spend time and value your family, nothing else matters. You will make the time to do that. So the hardest question ever is, how much do you truly value your health?
Yeah.
It's a question people don't want to hear, but when they're faced with it, it's like, well, shit, I want to, right? I'm not saying you don't want to, you just don't right now. So how do we shift you from, okay, I want to get healthy, but I don't want to put in the work. Well, why don't you? Yeah. Oh, because I have a habit of restrictive dieting and exercising. And I think that that's the only way to lose weight because it's worked. I have the evidence internally that I have lost weight from that before. But the second life happens, I get a sick kid, I go on a vacation, all of that goes out the window. I realized how much that sucked. I realized how stressed I was, which our body's going to hold on to more weight, right? Yes. And the cyclical cycle begins.
Yeah, it is a cycle. It's like a cyclone. And you're just like, you just got to step out of the cyclone so you can see the cyclone and be like, I don't want to be in that cyclone anymore. Right?
Yes. I want off the hamster wheel. It's like you said so beautifully. You are not the problem. The problem's with your system.
Yes.
That's it.
It's the system, the belief systems and the habits that have been built around this belief system that keep us stuck, when really that, if you look at it, it's really invisible. There's no like matter or physical density with those cages that we've built, but they are cages. They're cages that we live in. Now, this is what I love so much is you're talking about 2 to 5 minutes. I do know who Max Lucaver is. Anyway, he's a blogger, I don't know, health guy, journalist, I don't know. Anyway, point is, he just shared this study on Instagram that it showed that anywhere from 2 to 5 minutes, this is so good, of exercise will decrease your risk of heart disease by like 25%, just moving 2 to 5 minutes a day. Like,
that's it.
What? And
yeah.
And I believe it. And I believe on those days that I really don't have the expanded time that I want, right? My hour, my whatever it is, how much time I love to move that fuels me. I will do 2 to 5 minutes. Even when I'm brushing my teeth, I'll do something. I'll do squats when I'm brushing my teeth because it feels so good, but we have time.
And that right there is the secret sauce to permanent weight loss, to a high metabolism, any way that you view weight loss, any way that you view all these buzzwords of fat burning and all these things, that will only happen with an active lifestyle. So I am all about movement versus exercise. And the difference between the two, because there is a difference in my lens, in my world at least, movement is doing things all day long. Squatting while you're brushing your teeth. Here's the other thing. We as humans always want to take the path of least resistance. Meaning we want to do what's easy, right? I don't want to go cook when I could go call Uber Eats to bring me food. It's easy. I'm tired. I'm a mom. I've got all the things, right? We always take the path of least resistance. For movement, for me, I teach moms how to take the path of resistance, but not in a way that feels like, oh my goodness, I'm adding another task to my Mount Fuji long to-do list. Yeah. Right? So it's exactly what you said. How do I squat while I'm brushing my teeth? But not just that. How do I utilize every single muscle and joint and connective tissue in the squat so that I'm doing more in less time, so that I don't have to worry about a number of reps? It's like, for 1 minute while you're brushing your teeth, do something with that. There you
Yeah.
go. Now you don't have to worry about fitting in the time to work out because you're working out all day. Now your joints are going to be healthier. Your body's going to feel better. You have increased circulation. You're constantly in a state of weight loss because
Yeah.
you're moving,
Yes.
right?
Yes. And do you find too, like when you start getting these little, like I think you said little victories, right? The little victories, and
Yes.
you start, and then do you see them like, oh, they're like their perspective expands and like, oh, now I can do more. Like now they have their own evidence. Like you said, now it's new evidence. It's new evidence that that old way of living doesn't work anymore. And now, like, yes, I can do this. And then there's like that motivation that it's like a force within us that our body wants to be healthy so much, and when you just tap into it a little bit, it carries you. Like
It carries you.
it carries you, doesn't it? It's just like whoosh, pushes you forward because the body's meant to move. And I agree, it's not meant to exercise. I don't like the gym. I like to do things that feel good, that I'm excited to do, not like I have to go to the gym and lift weights for an hour. Like, no, I'm not going to do that. Like, I'm going to do things that bring me joy and that I want to do. And sometimes and what are some other ways to keep people motivated? I know one way is like what you're doing, providing a group, a collective to do that. Don't you think that really helps keep
It,
people
you know,
accountable?
who you surround yourself with is who you become. I mean, we all know this. We hear it in every different way, but it's when we take it back to the caveman days, to our ancestors. If you weren't part of a tribe and you got kicked out, that was a death sentence. You can't forage for yourself. You can't hunt for yourself. You have to be part of a community. You help each other out, right? So when you are trying to do anything alone, anything, myself included, you included, it's so much harder to stay on track than it is to hold yourself accountable to another group of moms that are doing the same thing with you, that can share your struggles, that can problem solve with you, that can celebrate you. And it's
Mm.
like you said, the little things. My best friend Carissa, she calls it the dishwasher effect, because you see this pile of dishes, right? And you're like, oh, like I don't want to do the dishes. The second you wash one, you're going to grab the next one.
Yeah.
And then you're going to grab the next one. And before you know it, the dishes are clean. Did you
Yeah.
want to do it? No. It looks so overwhelming. But the second you do one little thing, so that's kind of what we do is we have you do one dish. You start with that one dish for a couple days, and then you realize, well, that one dish turned into two dishes. Oh, wow, I did squats while I brush my teeth. Now I find myself doing this movement while I'm making coffee.
Yeah.
Now I, got the pot out to cook, and I might not have cooked yet, but I didn't go out to Starbucks and get a muffin. I got the pot. It's like these little tiny shifts are what create that permanent change. And then it's sustainable, because I'm all about permanent change. You can go get, half-ass results anywhere over the internet, anywhere, all the time. But if you're not going to sustain that, what's the point? So the first thing I always ask moms is that say like, oh, I've got a really good, consistent 30-minute gym workout. I go like 2 to 3 days a week and blah, blah, blah. And I go, great. Can you do that for the rest of your life? And they kind of laugh. Right.
Yeah.
Well, I'm like, what you do now, you should be able to answer that question without hesitation. Hell yeah, I can. Not
Yeah.
just a yes. Hell yeah, this is sustainable. Of course
Mhm.
I can keep this up. And if you can't say that, you have not found your soulmate movement, diet. I hate that word. I call
I
diet.
know. Ah.
Did I eat that? Like,
Yeah.
oh, it's so
Yeah.
heavy and like nuanced and oh,
And you know what
so
well, I just want to say about like the food aspect, because that's where I really like dive into a lot of my energy. But it's like how we even think about our food impacts the food that we eat. Our thoughts, our intentions impact the molecules, the atoms, their vibrations. So we're just spewing, energetic information to the food we eat. And if we think it's restrictive, we think that it's making us fat. If we think it's unhealthy for us, if we think it's healthy for us, our body reacts in a way that creates that reality. And so what I love so much is you're saying, where do we find the joy in all this, right? Because we've got like, you got to exercise, you got to eat healthy. It's horrible. You can't have cake. You do this. It's like, no. That is an old, obsolete belief system, probably made by the big man out there that wants to keep us controlled and, just giving them all our money. It's like, no. We are starting anew, my friends, my sisters, my mamas. Like, this is a new way. And it is like you're showing us. There's a way to do this that builds community, right? That is motivation, that is that is, it's a beautiful way to like connect. And I love what you're doing.
Thank you.
Yeah.
Yes, it, we, we just believe moms deserve to look their best, feel their best, and live their best life. And we're so taught that, like, it's, tell me if you experience this too. When I got engaged, I worked as a physical therapy assistant. So I had hundreds of people I would tell every day, like, oh, no, I got engaged, blah, blah. I think there was maybe 4 people that were legit happy for me. Legit, like, welcome, this is amazing. Everyone else, oh, old ball and chain, sex is gonna stop, like, get ready for a lifetime of like just negative, just, and I knew the person I was marrying was my, like, I could count,
Yeah.
not listen to all those thoughts, but it was amazing that was the reaction. And then when you get pregnant, it's the same thing. Like, your freedom goes away, your identity is lost, you're going to be heavy the rest of your life. Like, it's just part of momhood. I had a relative tell me, because I gained, like, I think an extra like 30 pounds with my second son. And they said, like, well, that's just going to be your new reality. Like, you'll see, just wait, because you're a mom. And it was like, well, I don't want that to be my reality. Not because it's bad to look that way, but because personally, I felt not confident and uncomfortable in my skin. So for me, it wasn't okay to look that way, because for me, I didn't feel good. I couldn't do the things I wanted to do, keep up with my kids, play the weird SpongeBob dinosaur games that they want to play in the weird positions they want me to get in and crawl in. That's my why. I want
Yeah.
to outrun my grandkids, right?
Yeah.
I don't want to look a certain way. I want to feel a certain way. That's what this all comes down to. It's stress. It's all stress. How
Isn't it?
stressed you are, how your body responds, and how you cope with it. When you can tackle those, which tackles, just like you said, your relationship with food. If you don't have a good relationship with food, no diet will ever stick, which is why you just feel like you're on this hamster wheel of, well, I get results and then I don't. And then I get results and then I don't. And then this new thing sounds great. And this shiny object sounds great. And this new celebrity endorsed diet sounds great. Yes, they all sound great because they're marketed to you, and they're already building the next one, knowing when you start this one, you're going to fall off track. So they have the next one ready for you.
Yeah.
It's
And
a
they,
hoax.
it's like, you're going nowhere. And
Yep.
they truly profit on you not feeling enough. They want to make sure you never feel good about yourself. Because if you do,
100%.
then you're not going to buy their crap. And you know what, Ashley, I've been in that too, buying all the supplements, buying all this, doing that. And it's like, it doesn't work, because what's up here in the mind, the belief system, is truly what is creating our reality. It doesn't, anything else doesn't matter. Nothing's going to work until we get on board in our brains and we start asking ourselves these questions. Why do I want to be healthy? What's going to be that motivation? And how can I bring in those little baby steps? Because that's what it is. And I think also we're so used to this instant gratification. Now the Amazon, it's like Christmas every day. I mean, it's like, oh, it's this instant gratification. And we have to give ourselves, don't you think, so much grace,
So
patience.
much grace.
Yeah, and patience and love, and just like we need to mother ourselves. We need to hold ourselves and be like, kind of rock yourself, be like, it's okay. You got this. We're gonna do this. We know where we want to go. And it's the beginning is always going to be the most resistance, but once you get on, it's like you've created this beautiful cycle that now can truly benefit you for the rest of your life.
For the rest of your life. That is everything. If you're not doing something to create permanent change, again, it's not your fault. You
No.
just haven't been exposed to, there's this way,
Yeah.
but there's also another way.
Yes.
And let me hold your hand and take you, and you hold their hand and take. And it's like, I love what you said about the supplements, because we so often want to go to that optimized state. Do supplements help? Sure. But until you get all of this foundational stuff
Yes.
fixed, supplements aren't going to do shit for you. It's like going on another diet,
Yeah,
right?
so all these biohacking supplements, and now neuro supplements. It's like, people, like, stop searching. We're just searching. It's like nothing has anything ever outside of you made you feel better. No, maybe just for a little moment, but it never fills that void. We're the only ones that can fill that void with our own like self-love and compassion. And in response to that, that's when we take care of ourselves. It truly, when we take care of ourselves, we are showing our self-love, right? We can show our kids
1,000%.
all the love, but you know what? Our kids pick up on that shit.
They
They're not
really do.
We are so smart. So, okay. So tell me, how is it that you work with, like, give me your process of working with people. So is it online? Is it in person? Do you have different, like, how does that work?
Yeah, so I was all in person until I had my beautiful first baby. And then I was like, I want to be home. So
Mhm.
everything I do now is virtual.
Oh,
And I work with my best friend in everything we do. So we co-created something called Mom Life Peak. And so we take moms at different levels of where they're at. So there are some moms that have their whole nutrition thing dialed in. They don't want to mess with that. They've, mastered their relationship, and that's fantastic, but maybe they don't have the exercise portion down. So we have different tiers of, like, we have a fitness membership for those looking to build consistency, to build strength. And the approach we take there is no equipment, little time, little space. So it's body weight, right? Yeah.
oh,
Again, sustainability.
yes. And you can do so much with your own body weight. Like, it is,
More than weight.
yes, truly. It's incredible. And what I think so beautiful, Ashley, is you're teaching these women how to do that. It's not like you have to go buy something else, right? You're
Don't
like,
have to buy anything else. And honestly, you can't. So here's the thing. With my background, and I'm all about form and foundation, like, I'm your girl that's going to get you doing the things right before you want to go optimize. You can't lift weight. You can't do any of that until you understand how to engage your core and pelvic floor, how to use your breath, how to sync your breath with your core and pelvic floor, how to
mm,
use your feet, how to use your back, how do you even move and walk and lunge correctly. If you don't know how to do that, why are we adding weight?
oh,
That's a recipe for injury, disaster, because that's what we're told. We want to lose weight, go to the gym, do these weights. But now my low back hurts, and now I'm out for 6 weeks, and now I've fallen off track again.
uh,
Right?
I love that. And you know what I'm seeing too is you are teaching body awareness.
Body awareness in everything, because
That's huge.
that is everything, not only in fitness, not only in movement, but in how you're eating, why you're eating, right? And
Oh,
how you're sleeping, why you're sleeping, and
yes.
why you're drinking water, why you're not. Are you
Yeah.
hungry? Are you thirsty? Are you listening to your
Mhm.
body? Your
Mhm.
body has infinite wisdom, but we don't know how to. The way that I describe it is becoming the DJ of your body. So
Mm,
if you go to a party and there's a DJ there, right? He is going to vibe and attune with the audience. It doesn't matter if it's, your great grandma's 50-year anniversary,
yeah.
or it's your 13-year-old,
Yeah.
daughter having whatever. The DJ is going to be able to vibe with that audience, make the sounds, the tones, the beats, so that audience is always dancing.
Yeah.
We are the DJs of our body. So
Mm,
when we can learn how to listen and vibe and attune with what's going on, oh, you're causing me a signal of pain. That's not bad. Thank
yeah.
you for
A message.
communicating to me.
Mm-hmm.
It's a message. How do I listen? How do I vibe with you? How do I really get on board with you, so that, your body can't speak words, it speaks feelings.
Yes.
So we have to learn its language. We
Yes,
have to.
we have to. And good to know why we've learned not to feel is because when we were little, we were told, don't cry, don't do this. It makes everyone uncomfortable. I'm sure we do that to our children. I know I have. But it's like it's an emotional intelligence. It's connecting with this beautiful vessel that carries us along this lifetime. Like, we cannot neglect this organism. Like, if you neglect it, we know what happens. I mean, it's happening everywhere. So it's like, okay, what is really important? Is taking care of this body more important than sitting on the, now, hey, I'm all about sitting on the couch watching Netflix, right? I'm all about it. I love it. And at the same time, like, if I did that all the time, it would not be that fun. Like, you've got to create, and I hate the word balance, but you've got to create that, like, that flow, like you said, like that, you're resonating, and you're listening. And so going back to what you said, I love that your pelvic floor, you're feeling your feet, you're feeling your body, because your body, so many of us, we don't listen, we don't hear it. We're so in our spinning thoughts, we don't listen. So I love that. I love that you're like bringing that, bringing them home back into the body. That's so important.
Back into the body. And you can think of your body as a car. This is like my favorite analogy ever. I came up with it when I was a physical therapy assistant, and the doctor I worked with was like, oh my God, we have to use this for everybody. Because here's the thing. If I gave you a car today and I was like, here you go, Becky, here is your brand new car. This is the only car you will have for the rest of your life. Would you take care of it? Would you get it regularly maintained? Would you make sure that the oil was good in it? Would you rotate the tires? Would you do all the other mechanical car things that you're supposed to do when you go take it in? Yes, because you're like, this is the only car I have. If this car, if I treat it like shit, it's not going to run. And then I no longer have a vehicle to get around. Your body is this car. You're only given one. So we have to regularly maintenance it. We have to make sure that our joints are lubricated. We have to make sure that we do the things. We're feeding it the highest premium gas, right? We have to feed it fuel. We have to keep it hydrated. We have to keep all of the fluids. Your body is this one car. So when you start to make that shift and you're like, okay, if I only got one car, heck yes, I would make every maintenance appointment. I would make sure I'm doing all the things to keep that car in the best shape that I can. That is your body.
Yeah.
So view your body as that car.
Yeah.
Because you don't get another one.
You don't. You can't just go and sell your body and then go buy a new one. Well, you could sell your body, but don't do that. Sorry. Don't do that, people. But no, it is. It's like, what fuel are you putting in it? You just leave it in the garage and never driving it. Like, no, you got to move it. We were meant to move. And I really do feel there's this new earth arising. People are waking up, at least what I see, thank God. People are, and I think mothers are the key. Mothers are the key, because when we heal generations before us and after us. We really do.
1000%.
And so the more that we can tune back in, because we've been told, don't be selfish. You need to take care of everybody else before you. And it's so backwards, because how can we truly show up and love and care for people when we are so empty?
You can't. It's not selfish to be selfish. No. It's not. And it's such a mind F word.
Yes, true. It really is. It is a mind F word. Girl, okay, so if we have some moms here and they're like, this sounds totally up my alley, how do they find you?
Yeah. So if you want to hang out on the socials, you can find me on Facebook is where I'm mostly. So that would just be facebook.com/move with Ash. Otherwise, momlifepeak.com. And I do have, Becky, if you're down, I have like a free gift they could have where they can start moving in this way.
Yes.
Please. Yeah. So
absolutely. Yeah. I'll put that in the show notes, my friends. Look, free. Everybody wants some free stuff. And especially the free things that actually bring value, right?
Yes.
Yeah.
Yeah. So you'll try on a whole bunch of different kinds of workouts. And I say try on because just like a bra, you got to try on a few to find that perfect fit. So there's 2-minute workouts in there, 5-minute workouts. There's a 10-minute workout. Again, no equipment, only your body, toning your body, sculpting your body, using your body, and healing your body, using your body. So try on all these different ones, see which ones you like, and then just stick to that for a little bit and see how that feels. That is how you build habits, my friends, my mamas. Amazing.
Yes. Thank you so much. Okay. I'm going to have all those links so your website, the Facebook, and then also the free gift. So everyone's taken care
of. Yeah. Perfect.
Ashley, thank you so much. It's so great to reconnect with you and bring, I just feel your heart, your passion, you're doing some really beautiful things. And it's such an honor to share your voice and your heart with this community, truly.
Oh, thank you so much. It's truly been an honor.
Oh, it's so fun. All right, everyone. Well, thanks for listening. You know how to connect with Ashley. Look at the show notes and we'll catch you on the next Hippie Moms podcast. Bye.
Bye.